Hey guys, how you all doing? Last time we talked about everything related to bright field microscopy, and if you're still having doubts, shoot them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so let's get started with the dark field microscopy. Can you see the image over here? Can you make it out that it has some kind of dark field, and there are some cells over it, and the laptop is connected to it. But it is not important that a laptop will always be connected to see the image from dark field microscope. There could be binocular dark field microscopes also, which help us to see the images. I hope that's clear. Moving on to the parts of dark field microscope other than other than the basic parts of the microscope like light source, diaphragm condenser, and all other knobs and nose piece and ocular lens, there is one more thing that actually makes the dark field microscope as the dark field, and that is dark field stop. What it does, it actually allows only a cone of light. What do we mean by that? Can you see here? Let's say there's a bulb over here, and when it is getting illuminated, it is making sure that the light gets transmitted in all directions. But what we are doing, we are putting this top over the light and allowing only some amount of light to hit our specimen. See, when the light source is illuminated, obstruction is passed so that only a cone of light is ensuring that only cone of light is hitting the specimen. Why are we doing this? Now we are doing this to get the dark field, and we are making sure that no light passes through the field, and only whatever the light is passing through the objective lens or the slide is only passing through the cells, so that whatever the refraction is happening because of the cells gets magnified and can be visualized in the image. We're going to talk about it more in the next slides. So let's try to make this thing more clear. Working of microscope, dark field microscope. So whenever this dark field microscope bulb gets illuminated, we are changing the way of illumination of our slide. What are we doing? We are putting the dark field stop so that only a cone of light hits our specimen at an angle. Now, when our slide is getting hit by a cone of light, there are cells which are making sure that the light which is coming through it gets refracted, and whatever the light is passing through the other amount of cells, they all are getting refracted, and the field is not receiving any kind of light, so it remains dark. And whatever the light is passing through the cells, it getting refracted. So whatever these lights refracted, they all enter the objective. But those lights which are not getting reflected, which are not getting refracted, they do not enter. And that's how the cone of light is set. It might sound tricky at the first time, but when we read, when we know that only we are making sure that only cone of light hits the cells and not the field, it becomes pretty clear. Okay, and all because of refraction, we are seeing the images. And then finally, background appears dark and we see the images. See here. Can you see this is a tissue paper slide, and this is your Treponema palladium slide, and it is a dark field. Can you see the dark background? The dark background, and can you see how much clear the image is? Treponema palladium, we can easily make out that it is a spiral protozoa, right? So it is so much clear to make and to visualize and to separate the images with the help of dark field microscope. The other thing talks about the same, which is Volvox and Spirogyra. We can clearly make out on the dark background that where is the Volvox, how the shape is located. We can see that there's septum, the cross walls into the Spirogyra. We can see that the Volvox are all arranged in some kind of a sheet. So most of the things are clear with the help of dark field microscopy. Again now, but this time we are make we are con we are make we are seeing that bright field microscopy images and dark field microscopy images. Now bright field microscopy image, as you can see, it is not clearly visible. See guys, whatever you're seeing for bright field microscopy image, it is even lighter than this. It's a photograph of whatever you are seeing on the slide. Whenever you're seeing this image on the microscope, it'll not be this much clear. So it is highly transparent, and you need really amount of force, and you really need to push your eyes to see the images. But it is not that in the dark field microscopy you can clearly make out the shape of the bacteria, the colony characters, and everything is so much clear. And that's only the difference between dark field and bright field microscopy. The last thing that we're going to talk about, of course, are the advantages and disadvantages of bright field microscopy. See, advantages are unstained specimen are also very much clear. Why? Because this time field is the field, the background is not receiving any kind of is not receiving any kind of light, so it automatically remains dark. Whatever the light is passing through the cells is reaching the objective lens, and that only we are saying. So cells are automatically becoming clear, and we can put the unstained specimen, the live cells, and we can clearly make them out. And external structure like the outline, edges, boundaries, rather than internal structures, we use it for, of course, like have you seen in the previous images, the internal structure was not that clear. Of course it is not that clear because we are using the same wavelength light, so resolution is not that much intensified. But the outline images, the edges, and the boundaries are all getting magnified because the field, the background remains dark. That is the main thing. The disadvantages, now it might be possible that we got some air bubbles, and when light passes through air bubbles, the refraction changes, and it might be possible that we get some random image for no reason. Okay, we might be like, oh, what is this, but it might be just a air bubble, right? So air bubble can cause problem because of the different refractive indexes and need intense amount of light. Why do we need it? See, we are making sure that whatever the light is passing through the slide, it do not pass through the background, and it pass only through the cells. So already we are stopping a high amount of light. We have seen in the previous slides that how the field was stopping. We have seen that whenever the light was passing through like this, we were allowing only, we were stopping these kind of lights, and we were allowing only these lights to pass through. So already we have decreased the amount of light, and whatever the amount of light is passing through the cell, it should be of great intensity. Otherwise those cells will also not appear bright against the dark background. So to make sure those cells appear bright, we need intense amount of light. And so those amount of light, those intense amount of light can hurt our eyes, which can be dangerous. So that's why we use laptop to see the images. Like we have seen in the first slide, laptop was there connected to a dark field microscope. So we usually avoid directly looking into the images like binocular microscopes, because it might hurt our eyes, which is kind of a drawback for dark field microscope. And that's it guys, we have covered dark field microscopy. Just listen it one more. If you are still confused about the working of the microscope, let me know in the comment section. I can make more videos on it. And but just remember, there's one motto of us, that to make sure dark background remains and other cells appear bright. And how can we do that? By allowing only cells to get the light and stopping light to pass through the background. And that is the only principle we have used. So bye bye guys. I hope you enjoy the video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay tuned.